In a world dominated by sports podcasts, three friends team up to bring you another one. Driven by the incessant need to argue with one another, the Context Matters podcast will toe the line between what they believe and what they believe will piss off their friend. Listen and enjoy as the group chat you never wanted to read becomes the podcast you hardly want to listen to. The bits are long, the rage bait is real, and the context matters.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us on episode 3, the trifecta. It is Wednesday, January 21st, and it's time for the conference championship games. I'm beginning to get the off-season blues already. I'm Bill, and with me as always are David and J-Mo. How are we feeling, boys?
Well, it is the third Monday of the week. I am feeling like 100 pesos. Let's go.
That's good to hear. This is our fifth take, so I'm feeling really good right now. Let's get through this. And blue, Billy, how can you be feeling blue?
I just got a case of the Blue Bills. On today's slate, we will be discussing results from the divisional weekend, debating the two conference matchups, recapping our picks, props, and parlays from last week, as well as providing more for this week's set of games. We will be talking hot topics from the great weekend of football we just watched, as well as other items around the NFL. And then we end the show with a little segment called You Guessed Anything Else, where we touch on, you guessed it, anything else. But first, a word from our first presenting sponsor, Hyatt Trucks.
Yes, we are proud to announce our partnership with Hyatt Trucks. Are you tired of dealing with unreliable waste removal service, or worse, the weekly dump trip? Say hello to Hyatt Trucks Waste Removal, Southern New Hampshire's top choice for dependable disposal. Based in Milford, New Hampshire, they serve Hillsborough County and beyond, including Milford, Nashua, Bedford, Manchester, and Peterborough. They're a family-owned business with over 50 five-star Google reviews, are fully insured, and are ready to handle any waste removal needs. They offer flexible roll-off dumpster rentals for any project, big or small, and are joining us just before your annual spring cleaning project. They'll haul away furniture, appliances, yard waste, and more. But let's talk about what can really make a difference in your week. Hyatt offers weekly curbside trash pickup to Milford, New Boston, Bedford, Jaffrey, Peterborough, New Ipswich, and surrounding towns beginning at just $40 a month. With provided barrels, options for recycling, and reliable pickups, on time, every time. No more missed collections or overflowing bins, just peace of mind. Ready to join the Hyatt Trucks family? Head to HIOTT-TRUX.com and sign up using code CONTEXT to let them know we sent you. Hyatt Trucks. You chuck it, we truck it, making waste removal simple and stress-free.
Thank you for that, JMO. I also just wanted to give a couple words. So we reached out to TJ of Hyatt Trucks, and he was great to work with. He really wanted to support us and help us out. And he's a local entrepreneur, so please reach out to him, help him out the same way he helped us out. Using the code CONTEXT does lead to incentives for us, and all money will be reinvested into getting a better product of the Context Matters podcast out to you guys. JMO now has a soundboard.
Oh, who, me? Yeah, let me try this out. Hey, look at that.
Yay. We're recording this podcast on a better system. I think both of you would agree, even though it's take number 5. Then we have
we'll get it.
past and more to come, including we might be taking calls next week. Also, 2/3 of us have won an A-Division flag championship playing alongside the owner of Hyatt Trucks, TJ.
Wow.
And one has not.
Ooh.
Oh, that's not going to work.
Okay, now on to the divisional games.
Bills at Broncos.
I'll start off with this one. I said that the Denver Broncos, and specifically Bo Nix, were frauds. I said the defense was legit. The defense is still very legit. And I think the Broncos are a better team going into next week at Mile High against the Patriots than they were this week against the Bills. Because
Dude, that's crazy.
They have Jarrett Stidham. Bo Nix bruised his ankle and his sole to play one good game finally. He looked good in this game. But that was the first game I've seen him that looked impressive.
The other 13 are probably just luck.
The other 13 were his defense.
Oh, my God.
Here we go.
Here we go. Yeah. Honestly, I was a little disappointed. I thought the Bills were going to be able to figure it out at some point, and I don't know. They just couldn't quite do it. They were able to get some momentum at times, and then immediately lost it. Um, Josh Allen doesn't typically have turnovers like that. I'd like to say that Josh Allen did everything he could, but he knows it. The reality is, his turnovers really kind of cost them the game, and he needs to be better with protecting the ball there. Um, Not necessarily with the play styles, right? Because the way that he plays is what wins them games. He is the Superman that Billy wishes Justin Herbert was, but
He's Justin
the,
Herbert light. Justin
the
Herbert light.
the reality
If
of it is,
man,
if man, Josh Allen is that dude, but
Context
he
matters.
really he let them down this time. So good job on the Broncos. They kept it together. I think if we could all get a revote, we'd want to see the Bills just because it's going to be a better game because Jared Stidham's going to be running around like a chicken with his head cut off. But whatever, everybody who listens to this podcast for the most part is in New England. They're going to be happy to see their team roll through this Broncos joke and go on to another
Okay,
Super
schedule
Bowl.
continues.
yeah, we're all excited. Stidham doesn't offer a whole much compared to
Revenge
what Knicks can
game.
do. And JMO, you kind of called how this game went without even knowing it in our little group chat when we were all watching it. JMO messaged
Yep.
us, and first he said, "It is crazy how often these quarterbacks run without really protecting themselves."
Mm-hmm.
Bo Nix gets hurt. And then, kind of later in the game, he was like, "I can't believe there hasn't been any defensive pass interferences called." And then the refs initially just took over the game from that point on.
Whoops.
The game was great. It's sad to see, obviously, the refs kind of take it over in the end. But what the context of this game is, Josh Allen is just, he's too loose with the football, and it's not even like he's in the pocket and it's like somebody behind him and he doesn't know. It's just like his reckless ability of just unprotecting it. And that's
Agreed. So you can't really talk about this game without bringing up what JMO said about Josh Allen's turnovers, what you said about the reffing. And there's two specific plays that come to mind. So at the end of the first half, there was that idiotic fumble that just gave the Broncos 3 extra points and momentum going into the half.
For no reason.
like, you can't do that.
Sticking the
And then
ball out, bad idea.
Yeah, absolutely. That was insane. But then the other play that I feel like we have to talk about is the Brandon Cooks catch, not catch interception. Where do you guys feel on that?
So I'm a little bit flip-flopping. In the moment, I was like, that's a catch. He's down by contact, move on. But I also have money riding on the Bills winning, right? So I'm a little bit more emotionally invested in that. The more that I thought about it, and the more that I saw from people that I like hearing from, I kind of started to flip flop a little bit. And the biggest one was, I think it was JJ Watt that tweeted it out. He was like,
JJ Swat.
if JJ Swat, if there was no defender there and he hit the ball and it dribbled out, what would be the call? And like the reality is like, yeah, it would not be a catch. If there's no defender there, he caught the ball, brought it down to the ground, and then it bounced away the way that it was kind of bobbling as he was going down with the defender. What would that call be? It'd be an incomplete pass, right? Or an incomplete catch. So the fact of the matter is like the defender is what kept it from being incomplete. So it was a play, it was a football move, and it was going down, but instead of it being the ground, it was the defender. So the play didn't die and it ended up in the defender's hand. And so, I guess it is an interception. It makes me sad, but I think that if I'm being true to myself, I think it was the right call and that it is an interception.
I am so angry with you.
Whoa,
Sorry.
you totally cut
Posting
me
all
off.
this stuff in our group chat, and I was waiting. I was so ready to argue with you on Saturday.
I'm wrong.
And
What do you
just
want
be
from me?
like,
First of all, just for everybody who doesn't know, I had severe food poisoning on Friday. So Saturday and Sunday, I was not myself. I take no accountability for anything I may have said or done in that time period. So that was Patricia. That wasn't me.
Okay.
That wasn't me. That was Patricia.
So back to the point. I think that was definitely a catch. Because
No shot. I am so glad you're saying this because I waited. I held my tongue.
We're
and you
back.
guys know how hard it is for me to hold my tongue.
okay,
I held my tongue because Jeremiah called it a catch, and I was waiting until this podcast to argue with him. So I'm so glad you said it. So okay, now I will take a
okay.
step.
So like
Let
when
you
you're a
explain how it was
lawyer
catch.
and you're arguing a case, what do you use as your defense? You use prior case studies, right?
Because
Yep.
every catch is exactly the same. Yep, I understand where you're going with this.
No, there is an identical play when the
Identical?
Patriots played the
Be
Bills.
careful, lawyer. Be careful.
Identical.
Oof.
I'll fucking say it. And you're already getting me mad, and you told me not to swear, and I'm swearing. Okay, Shakir and Marcus Jones, when the Patriots played the Bills, I believe it was last time, it was the same thing, except it was a lot worse. Marcus Jones actually caught it on his stomach, and Shakir didn't even have the hands on his ball at all. And they called that a catch for Shakir. How can you call that a catch like a month ago and then flip-flop it worse to call it an interception this time around? I think it was a catch because his hand, he had possession of the ball and his knee was on the ground, and he had a guy on his back.
He never had possession of the ball.
If he was
Never.
a running back, he would have been down by contact.
He
right?
never had possession of the ball. If he was a running back, he would have been running with the football. If he was a running back on a pitch, then no. He never
I
had
think he had
possession of the
possession.
ball.
I think that's
I
just
agree.
one
If
of
he had
those.
possession, if he had possession before he jumped in the air, sure, it would have been a fumble or down by contact because it would have needed to be a fumble. He never had possession. He jumped in the air, never had full possession of the ball, never made a football move. Nothing. Like it was 100% not a catch. I also wanted the Bills to win. Broncos are frauds. I don't want to see that offense trotted out again, whether it's with Bo Nix or Jarrett Stidham. So I wanted the Bills to win, but that was by no means a catch. He never had control of the ball, and the defender came down with the ball first.
I think it was a catch. But I guess the most important thing of this whole thing, which is totally being overlooked, that ball was so badly underthrown. Like the defender should have had no business being close to that play.
Right. That's a good point. Which, again,
Josh Allen
not
also,
characteristic, but yeah.
well, Josh Allen also, his other pick was underthrown and late when he tried to sneak the post, and the safety just undercut it because he was too late and he should have threw it more outside. So, and then you had another play where was it Knox or Kincaid was like running down the seam and he just airmailed it, and that would have been like the go-ahead score to win the game instead of kicking a field goal. So,
I mean,
he was
all
in
in all,
his head.
Exactly. The Broncos defense is good, but Josh Allen just didn't help himself out at all that game.
Yeah, and then like the last drive for the Broncos, like the throw it up technique to get PI, I hate that. Just especially in a playoff game, like let the boys play a little bit. The second one was obviously PI, but the first one on Sutton, like that was
on the sideline.
That was a interesting call.
Yeah, agreed.
49ers at Seahawks.
Well,
okay, next game.
Yeah, again, because you guys went to bed early, you guys missed another blowout. So I think you guys are onto something.
I had a tummy ache, okay?
And I was sleepy.
Aw, you poor thing. So pretty much opening kickoff, Shaheed took it to the house, and that just set the tone for how the game was going to go. The stats just don't imply how that game went. Purdy led his team in rushing, so he was literally running for his life.
Woof.
Tong, what's his last name? Tongus? He led the team in receiving, and he tore his Achilles. So back to the whole power station thing. Soft tissue injury.
Oh, God, it just keeps happening.
But yeah, the Seahawks just managed to rush 4 and they were able to just hit Purdy all day. So, and then McCaffrey ended up getting hurt, but he still got 11 carries for like 30 something yards. So he was pretty ineffective. You could tell the Seahawks had 2 weeks to prepare, and they just came out blazing.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the Seahawks were going to win, right? But the fashion that they did it in, I mean, they were kind of working on obviously all 3 phases of the game, right? So everything was working out for them. The 49ers were coming in kind of limping into here anyway, but all in all, watching the recap, there wasn't a lot of life in this game. The Seahawks didn't have to do much, and they didn't, they didn't overthink it, right? Once they got the lead, they were just kind of playing to their strengths, nothing crazy, nothing special. And also, you get in a situation where if you think you have the game pretty well in control, you don't want to be breaking up your offense and kind of doing some things. I mean, maybe you want to practice a couple schemes or whatever, but you don't want to give anything away to future opponents that you could be playing this Super Bowl run, right? So, it wasn't very flashy after they took a lead, and they just got the job done. So good on them.
Yeah, I mean, the only player who really put up anything exciting on the box score was Kenneth Walker. So I think that kind of details how the game went fairly well.
I
So I
also
agree.
am getting sick of this 49ers team. They are just a bunch of losers. They said, like, after the game, "Oh, it would have been different if we were all healthy." And then, like, 2 years ago when the Eagles beat them, they're like, "It would have been different if Purdy didn't get hurt."
Yeah,
They just have built-in excuses to just lose.
feels like it. Texans at Patriots.
All right, here we go. This was my game of the week, obviously, being a Patriots fan. It went how I envisioned it. I didn't think either offense was going to be able to really produce a whole lot. Both defenses are playing really good. Obviously, the Texans are compared to the 85 Bears, and they have all these studs, which they do, but it's like, come on. Like, now we got to hear it again for another week. But yeah, the Texans were able to get pressure with 4, which is obviously what you need to do in this modern day of running the ball and passing the ball.
Yeah.
But I think the moral of the story is CJ Stroud. I told you guys he sucked. He did his best Justin Herbert impersonation. He throws
not even
really?
relatable.
What do you mean 4 picks? I mean, it looked pretty similar to Justin Herbert, except he probably threw for more yards.
At all.
Got him.
But CJ Stroud, he really throws like a beautiful ball, or it's like he will
The
make a
most
bad play
atrocious
worse.
thing. No kidding. Yeah, I mean, and you could see it. Like he was just, and it wasn't just the decision making. At least with Drake May, what I could say is like there was a couple times where he needs to get better with his pocket presence. Like there were defensive ends that are good, sweeping around the corner, sticking their arm out while you're trying to pass it, and you didn't get the ball out in time, or you didn't sense that pressure to move up or around a little bit to try and get the ball out. But that comes with time with a rookie. Like he should get better. Drake May should get better at feeling that
Rookie?
and being able to navigate. Well, okay, second year, sorry, but
He still played like pretty
young
well
player.
considering.
He played
But-
awful.
Listen. Where I'm trying to go with that is I can excuse some of it for just not having the full reps yet. But what bugged me with CJ Stroud is that the actual not only was like the ball placement bad, but the decision making was very, very bad too. So it was like a combination of everything. Like CJ Stroud has had enough reps. They let him throw in that offense. So like it was bad. Obviously, one of the picks, like it's an out route and he throws 3 feet behind the guy. You can't do that. That's a pick 6 all day.
I was just about to
everybody
say.
knows that. So, but the decision making beyond that is just it was just bad all the way around. And I mean, this game was gross. This had one of the most turnovers we've ever seen in an NFL game in the postseason. So that was disgusting. But I mean, just in general, we had, I think it was 12 interceptions thrown between the 4 games this weekend and 14 forced fumbles, which is just not good football. And it felt like 3/4 of it came from this game. So it was a hard watch, to be honest. And it was kind of like at one point you're like, all right, whoever stops making mistakes first is going to win, I guess. And that's not what anybody wants to see.
Yeah. So to go on that throw you were talking about where it was an out route and he was through behind, have you ever seen a quarterback throw a ball so bad it tore his guy's ACL?
I have now.
Yeah. It's bad. All right, Bill, you're good.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the cupcake schedule continues. You guys
Dude,
get
no way. You guys say this after every time we beat like a top. Oh yeah, I got a stat for you. Just keep going.
Yeah. Okay. The cupcake schedule continues. You guys get the Chargers where Herbert
Yeah,
needs to play
suck.
like absolute Superman to win the game. He doesn't.
Yeah, but if the Chargers just had a better team, they would have won. So duh.
And then you get the Texans with Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz effectively out of the entire game. CJ Stroud, someone needs to check his offshore bank accounts from a deposit from Robert Kraft. Like, he was an informant. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week. He was an informant for the Patriots. I swear to Christ. And did you say that Drake May played well?
I knew you were going to bring this up.
He put the ball on the ground 4 times. He is so lucky that Will Campbell recovered 2 of them.
Yeah, Will Campbell blew the block, so you better recover it.
I think I heard that they got 0 points off of the Patriots turnovers. Is that true?
I mean, they only scored like 16.
That's insane. And so 1 interception, the ball on the ground 4 times, 2 of those turnovers, 2 of them easily could be. And Will Campbell, you're saying he got blown by. We talked about it last week. Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson, like, that's tough. But yeah, I think Will Campbell might need to be moved into left guard. It seems like he's a really good tackle against average edge rushers, and he gets exploited every time there's a top edge rusher against him. Even Khalil Mack, who's in the back third of his career, like, made him look silly.
Wow, so silly that they still lost. Okay. They're saying, like, not the Patriots, but the media is saying Will Campbell is probably still hurt because it's his right knee. So if you're left tackle, that's your get-off leg. So you're not going to be able to get off and out if your right knee is bugging you, because he didn't have quite the get-off, as they say.
With my knees bugging me.
And you could. Yeah, you got bad knees. Don't. Okay, and you love passer ratings, right? You want to hear a passer rating?
Here we go.
100.7 was Drake May.
Yeah, because it doesn't count the 4 fumbles.
Yeah, that's why I like QBR. You love passer rating. I'm throwing your own
fun fact. 100.7 was also my temperature this weekend after getting food poisoning.
Justin Herbert against the same team.
Passer rating. I said he had the same passer rating as CJ Stroud last week.
84.9. Ooh. Herbert only threw 1 touchdown. Drake May threw 3. That's pretty. I mean, you're getting.
Yeah, what was his QBR? If you love QBR and passer rating,
look it up because
come on.
Didn't support my argument.
Bingo.
But yeah, I mean, the moral of the game,
where the context sometimes matters.
Drake May has shriveled so far in the playoffs.
Well, it's cold outside.
Okay, I'll bring up this stat now then. Drake May, no player in NFL history has had in a 1 playoff run has played 3 top 5 defenses, and Drake May is going to do that this week.
I know, I saw that, and if the Seahawks win, he'll play another one.
Well, they're 6, but I mean, the Patriots played a great game defensively. They did what they did against the Chargers. They muddy the waters. They stop the run, and if you can't run the ball, then all you can do is throw it. And they have great defensive backs. They can just stick to you guys like glue. And the Patriots offense did enough to win. It was great complementary football. The Texans, it was the 3rd most points given up all year by that defense. They only average 15.9 points per game given up. So the Patriots, their offense scored more than the average. So you're saying Drake sucks and the offense sucks. I mean, they're putting up decent numbers against great competition.
4 turnovers, and I don't even remember, did CJ Stroud have fumbles? So it might have been even more than 4. I think he did.
I think so.
And only 4 of those points. But for the record, Seahawks are the top leading scoring defense and are 3rd overall in EPA. So,
yeah, not going to be easy.
I'd also say it's easy for Carlton Davis to stay on people when he's holding them and DPIing them every play.
Oh my God, grow up.
Yeah.
Rams at Bears. Yeah, so
my Caleb Williams.
Exactly.
Yeah, how did your MVP play?
Honestly,
I'm pretty sure his QBR was like 60 something.
He didn't turn the ball over.
I'm pretty sure he threw a pick, if not 2.
I don't think he did.
I think he was. No, he was good. He didn't
throw a pick. But it was just 20 for 42.
I mean, it was so fun right off the bat, right? You see the Bears driving down the field. You're like, oh man, here comes Caleb Williams driving down the field, like against this Rams defense, doesn't even care. Like maybe they're not going to get off to a slow start. Maybe they're going to put it together right away. Interception. You're like, all right, yeah, no, that's about right. And then just the whole game. I mean, it was funny to watch. And does anybody care about the first 3 quarters? Can we just skip towards the end where all the good stuff happened?
That was insane.
Caleb Williams throwing one of the craziest passes I've ever seen. But honestly, can somebody answer me this? What was the defender doing? Like, you saw when the ball's going over, right?
He
There's
got
like,
pushed off.
Yeah, but still,
okay,
he
no,
still
not
ran
the defender
down.
next
He
to
didn't
him.
even
I'm
flatten
talking
out.
about, I'm talking about the guy who was 10 yards away from him, 10 yards away from, was it Odunze that he threw it to, or DJ Moore? Whoever it was, whatever.
the
The
Komet?
final pick.
Komet?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
No,
final one was
Komet,
deep.
to Komet for the touchdown,
Yeah, Komet.
So the defender is just like looking up like 15 feet away from Komet. So I don't understand what he was doing, because as cool as that play was, that ball took 5 seconds to get to him. So like, you're so out of position that even given 5 seconds, you couldn't get back into position. Like, all you had to do was cover the end zone. Like, I don't know. I don't get it.
The only thing I can say about that play, I don't know what that defender was thinking. That was definitely offensive pass interference, but especially given that it didn't change the outcome of the game, I'm glad they didn't call it. And I am so happy that we're now seeing quarterbacks come into the league who grew up their entire lives playing Madden with Michael Vick, because that's exactly what that play was. Like, let me just run
100%.
backwards and throw it up to my all Madden team with Andre Johnson in the end zone. Like, that's exactly how the play was drawn up.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
stupid.
man,
That
that
whole
was
game
fun.
made me mad. I am
Go off.
I'm getting to the point where I can't watch this stuff anymore. Like, if you go for it on 4th and goal in a playoff game like this, like, you are special. There is no excuse for it. Just take the points. Like, the Bears lost by, obviously, it went to overtime. They did that 4th and goal like twice.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
the second one was a
did they
4th
get
and goal,
one?
but no.
Oh, okay, I thought they did. I was gonna say, because I heard someone say, like, the
Dude,
math.
the play,
I agree, it's stupid.
Like,
the
just take
decisions made by the coaches in this game was crazy in general. Like, remember at the end of the half where there was like 18 seconds left and the Rams decided to just knee it out? I remember somebody said something
that
about
was
that in the
insane.
group chat. Like,
Yeah.
can we talk about, like, Matt Stafford, when he came into the league, he could throw the ball 65 yards. Now he's really old and he can only throw it, 55
64.
yards? Like, right? Like, you're telling me in 2 plays with 20 seconds and a timeout, like, you couldn't have maybe put points on the board? Like, what was that?
Yeah, gotten in range for thicker kicker.
Yeah, that's a great
True.
nickname.
It is a great nickname. Also, they were talking about him on the broadcast, and I completely spaced like what they were even talking about. I'm like, why are they talking about a kicker while they're showing a defensive lineman? And then they mentioned the kicker's name, and I'm like, oh, they must be brothers. That's crazy. But nope, it's
Oh my God.
a number 92, 280-pound kicker.
Yes, sir.
So that was crazy. But this game was interesting, but yeah, some horrible calls from Sean McVay. Exactly, like you not going it for it there. They didn't go for it again. I don't even remember the time, but yeah, you have Devontae Adams and Puka, who both are great at contested catches.
Right.
Matthew Stafford, who can throw the ball a mile, and you're not going for it, at least to some degree. But back to what you were saying, David, the 4th and goal, I thought they converted one, but I guess if they didn't, that's fine. But
I think was a goal and they didn't get it, and one was probably from it was like field goal range. It could have been from like the 20 or the 25, somewhere a little further back, but
okay. But I heard someone explained it to me in a concept that I was like, oh, that's actually a really good point about
no, it doesn't make any sense.
About not taking the field goal. It's if you convert 1 out of 2, you get 7 points. If you kick it twice, you get 6.
Yeah, but they
It's
lost.
that's just another way to think about it. I'm not saying they didn't lose, but like you can always play Captain Hindsight and be like, well, if you kick the field goal the time that you didn't get it, but you go for it the time you did get it.
Yeah, but this is why teams lose.
No, they're playing advanced metrics. Like I don't know. I
just don't like analytics. I think you got to feel for the game, and
I agree.
It takes you
time and a
4
place
times to try and get in. Then if it's like a low scoring tight game, it's like what the Chargers did on that same 4th down like the week before. Like if you know at halftime it's gonna be 10-10, 3 points is a big number in that low scoring game. So might as well just take the points when they're there.
3 big. Okay. So that's the end of our divisional recap, but we have some pick results. So for the second straight week, we have Jeremiah in the lead at 8-2 over the 2 weeks. He was 3-1 last week. And Dave, me and Grok coming into the week, we're in a 3-way tie at 3-3. And we all went 2-2. So we're now still in a 3-way tie at 5-5. So for our straight up picks, JMO in the lead at 8-2. And then Dave, me, and Grok at 5-5. Now on to the divisional round, or the conference championship round.
Patriots at Broncos. Dave, what you got?
Dude, this is going to be a great game, at least for the Patriots. It's going to be the same style of play. They're going to muddy the water. Stidham's not going to know what he's looking at. They're just going to load the box, give him different looks, stop the run, and make him very one-dimensional. Wait, Bill, what do you got?
Drake May is going to look awful again. This is arguably, I feel like, a harder defense for him to go up against.
Yeah, but
I think it fits their style of play better.
I think also that we haven't really talked much about Vrabel, and Vrabel's a good coach. Vrabel's going to recognize what was going on. He's going to recognize what Drake May did wrong, the positions that he put Drake May in, and they're going to talk about it. Now, obviously, the pressure that they're going to see is not going to be the same, right? The Broncos are not going to bring the same pressure that the Texans did. But on the flip side, it's the secondary of the Broncos that are going to be even more difficult. So it's a little bit different. I think they're still, though, going to work on making sure that Drake May has safety blankets that are running routes that can get open, whether it's like Patriots do a really good job of running pick plays, things like that. I think that he's not going to simplify the offense, but he's going to make sure that there's more options available for Drake May to succeed. I think that he's going to see what happened last game and not just rest on it. He's going to say, okay, I got to make sure, like, where is this defense vulnerable? Where can we get them unexpectedly? And what are some more things that we could do to get some points, whether it's dump offs or screens or, certain positions where they can take deep shots? Like, how can we make sure that we're getting Drake May in rhythm without exposing him? So I think that the coach is going to do well with that.
I don't know. I was expecting Drake May to play actually a lot better coming into the playoffs. But one thing I've really noticed about him is he holds onto the ball so darn long. And David said he said it after the game against the Chargers. Like, I have to stop holding the ball so darn long.
Yeah, and he did it
It's
again.
exactly what he did against the Texans, and it led to 4 fumbles. You know what he can't do? He can't have long route progression plays. And with that secondary and Nick Bonito coming off the edge, like, this is just another recipe for him to hold onto the ball too long and turn the ball over, whether it's ill-advised throws and now you have Pat Surtain back there, or whether it's just holding onto the ball so long that the rush gets there. Like, who doesn't think Will Campbell's going to struggle again with Bonito coming from the edge?
Yeah, I mean, you do bring up good points. The game is going to be won at 20 points, if that. We know Stidham. Like, it's not like somebody that's hiding on the bench that nobody's heard of. Like, we drafted this guy. He was at the Patriots for like 5 or 6 years. He went to Vegas with McDaniels, and you know who beat him as a quarterback job? Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo came and sniffed the field right now.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
And then the Patriots this offseason, they were going to sign him. So they were already doing all their prep work into what he's into. So he's very familiar, and I'm not scared of him. I'm not also super scared of the Denver defense. They gave up 400 yards against Buffalo. Patriots are running the ball pretty good. They couldn't stop Brandon Cooks and Shakir. What do you think they're going to do against, like, all these weapons the Patriots have? The Texans didn't give up 400 all year. So, no. I mean, the Texans defense is way better than
I think it's bold that they couldn't stop with all the turnovers they got against the Bills.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, at the end of the day, the Broncos offense is going to put their defense in bad positions. The defense can only do so much. And Jared Stidham just isn't really a solid game manager. Like, obviously, we had talked about it. He's no Nick Foles. He doesn't have the reps or the capability to bring this team further. We've seen the Joe Flacco's of the world step in and make a team all of a sudden who lost their quarterback, all of a sudden they can play well again, right? Like we talked about the Bengals this year, we talked about the Colts, we could talk about the Browns. Joe Flacco was able to at least get some life in those teams for 4 or 5 games. Jameis Winston can do that for your team too. Jared Stidham is not one of those guys. So the reality is that I don't know what the Broncos are going to be able to come up with on offense against this Patriots defense to even give themselves a chance.
You might hate this take. I hate Sean Payton. I think he's so overrated. He's like the Doc Rivers of the NFL.
Just got to watch out for your quarterback, Bounty Gate.
Yeah, I do not like Sean Payton because he left us. But no, I think he's a little overrated too. I think he has some cool designs and wrinkles in his offense, but I don't think there's anything that he does that other people can't do.
Like, another pet peeve I have is coaches who call plays.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so one-dimensional. Like, you have a whole team to worry about. Like, why are you just stuffing your head in the offense? It just makes no sense to me. I think
Yeah,
he'll get a good game plan for Stidham. Stidham might come out in the first quarter, make some plays, make some throws, but eventually once the Patriots figure it out, they're going to figure it out. And that's what
Right.
Vrabel does. That's what their defense does. They have head coaches in multiple coaching positions on that team. They're definitely the best coach team. So it's going to pay off. And I'm excited to see another win.
I'm so
I
excited to see
agree.
the Broncos beat the snot out of the Patriots.
Yeah.
Rams at Seahawks.
Speaking of Jimmy Garoppolo,
Right. He's on the Rams for people who forgot.
I think I saw it was his 6th championship game.
Yeah.
Insanity.
He's that good, man. You got to practice. You got to get there or something or whatever they say about backup
He's
quarterbacks.
great at getting the starting quarterback ready.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
He holds that clipboard.
Well, he looks good doing it. I'll tell you what. Yeah, I think that this game could be fun, right? This is one of those hard games to predict because it's like, what do you do when it's like, man, both teams have a pretty good defense. Although the Rams defense haven't looked all that good lately, but you go, both teams have a good defense. Both teams have a good offense. What's gonna happen here? I think if anybody can figure out the Seahawks defense, it's Sean McVay. I think that he's still brilliant. But I don't know. I don't have any kind of special feeling one way or another. I could see this going a multitude of different ways. We are definitely not getting the same Matt Stafford in these playoff games that we had during the regular season. So I don't know what's going on with that. And it's not going to get any easier against the Seahawks defense, that's for sure. And then on the Seahawks side, I mean, the reality of it is throw to JSN. That's it. Good night. Done.
Yeah, a hot take alert. I think this is just going to be a really good game. I don't.
That's a
really-
terrible
I
hot
don't
take.
really
That's like
have any-
that's the coldest take I've ever heard.
That was the
Man.
point, David. It was a
Oh
joke.
my god.
Boom.
Oh, you said joke? Don't worry, I got something for that. You really shouldn't have given me that.
I'm just excited to watch this game.
Oh, you're excited? Like clapping excited?
Hey, everybody!
think
Did
it's
you
more
guys
like
hear
a-
the JMO?
What about cheering?
I like
Yeah,
that.
we're
I
excited
like
here.
That's excited.
We are pretty excited over
Billy's
here.
gonna be in bed. He ain't even gonna watch this.
That's
a good
not
point.
true at all. It starts at 6:30. I only missed the one game that started at 8:00 last week. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Happy that there are no 8:00 games left for the rest of the
hope you can get your
Super Bowl
mom
also
sign in
starts
so you
at
can watch it.
6:30.
That's a good point. For those of you who don't know, Billy
Billy's so
does
cheap.
use his mom's sign in to get NFL games.
Shout out Christy.
You're the real MVP.
Love you.
No, I really think this is going to be a fun watch. This is a pick 'em to me. I think any day of the week you can
Yep.
decide on somebody different for this. And it's going to be some great wide receiver play between Puka Devontae and then obviously JSN on the other side. Who?
And Jake Bobo, obviously, right? So
Yeah, and Jimmy Garoppolo. So I'm
Who?
excited for whoever wins this game to go on and win the Super Bowl in an absolute rout.
I probably agree with you. That's sad.
Yeah, you guys touched on a lot. I will say, I think home field advantage for the Seahawks will be a major factor.
12th man.
Yeah, I think it'll probably decide the game. I think it's going to be a defensive battle, at least for the Seahawks. And yeah, Sam Darnold worries me in big games still. So he hasn't exactly proven himself yet. So I'll be excited to see if he can get that monkey off his back and have a really good playoff game.
It'll
Yeah.
be the hardest test that he's had so far, I think. So it'll be fun to watch.
Also, can we just talk about how Landman is the absolute best last name for a linebacker?
It's so good.
I think didn't they used to have a Laurinaitis or Leonidas?
James
back in the
Laurinaitis.
day.
Yeah. There we go. That's the name.
You know how I know you didn't watch the WWE?
How?
Because everybody who watched the WWE understands that James Laurinaitis is the son of Road Warrior Animal, and nephew of John Laurinaitis, Johnny Ace. But it's fine. You can just keep going with your lack of elite ball knowledge. We'll forgive you. It's whatever.
Man, I'm so turned on right now with that WWE
You like
talk.
that? You like that?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
Okay, so getting into our picks for the conference championship round. Dave, who do you have for Patriots at Broncos?
Pats.
JMO?
Patriots for me.
I am picking Jarrett Stidham. I know the
Oh
Patriots are
my god.
awful
The hate is real.
against backup quarterbacks in championship games. So give me the Broncos all day. All day. Grok has picked
Good
Patriots. David,
Attaboy.
Seahawks at Rams at Seahawks.
Seahawks.
JMO?
Yeah, 100% Seahawks. Let's go.
I'm going Rams, and so is Grok. So
Of course you are.
we're gonna see some shakeup between Dave Grok and I. It won't be the same after this week.
Or will it?
Okay, so next let's go on to picks, props, and parlays, because what else does an all-male podcast need if not more PPs? As a reminder, we're using the DraftKings Sportsbook odds at the time of recording. That's Tuesday, the 20th of January, and each host, as well as our good friend Artificial Intelligence, has 5 units to bet. At least 1 unit needs to be bet on a parlay of 3 legs or more. The remaining 4 units may be spread as each host sees fit. We will track each host's performance throughout the week so you can bet with or fade each of our bets as you see fit. As always, please bet responsibly. Jeremiah, do you want to plug the disclaimer?
Yeah, once again, we are not guaranteeing anything. These are just our opinions. If you bet it and you lose, that's on you. You're a loser. Get over it. Do not come after us. I don't know what you want from me. I lose most of my bets anyway. I'm just on a hot streak. So that's the way that it goes. If you feel like you have some play money to play with, go for it. If you don't, well, I don't know, put up your kid's college fund. I don't care. Just don't blame us when it goes sideways.
Blame Billy. Or should I say
we do.
Bill?
Yeah, you better get on that.
Okay, so going over last week's picks. In first last week and second overall is Grok. So Grok, if you tailed his bets, he wound up 1.01 units and now has a grand total of 7.89.
Wow.
Second last week, but first overall is Jeremiah, who gained 0.24 units last week and now has a grand total
0.24.
of 13.45, or a positive 3.5 bets. In third, after an electrifying Kenneth Walker race to 80, is yours truly. I have 4.37 as my total on the week, which is also my total overall because I lost all my bets the prior week. And in last is David, who last week went from his original 5 units to 1.95 and now has a grand total of 3.98. So he's last week and last overall, but I will hand it over to Jeremiah. JMO, what are your PPs looking like this week?
My PPs are looking hard. We've got the Seahawks at
no blue bills there.
No blue bills there. Seahawks minus 2.5. Those odds are at minus 115. I don't know. I think the Seahawks are going to win, and I think that either team, 2.5 is not a bad number because you obviously, you get the field goal on your side there. So, I think that they can do it. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I'm throwing it out there. I don't feel super confident about it, but I don't hate it either. I've got a Ramondre Stevenson anytime touchdown at plus 115. I think, obviously in order to score points, the Patriots are going to have to get in the red zone, unless they're kicking field goals all game, which I don't think is going to happen. But once they get in there, I think that they might try and simplify it for them a little bit and give the backs some opportunity to score, and take a little bit of the mistakes out of everything. So I like that Ramondre anytime touchdown. I'm also going to take a Devontae Adams anytime touchdown at plus 120. He's caught obviously 14, 15, 16 touchdowns so far,
But if you
from
ask David,
one
they
or
don't count because they
one
were
or
like
2
1 or 2
yards
yards
out.
out.
Exactly. I don't care how he gets it. That's why it's called an anytime touchdown. So it doesn't matter to me. It's fun to do that with. You could do it with Puka because you always have the option for him to do an end around run. But I'm picking Devontae here because Matt Stafford just loves him so much in the end zone. And then past that, I've got Ken Walker under 115 and a half total rushing and receiving yards at minus 115. So you got 1 unit on all those bets. The reason that I do that is Ken Walker has been so inconsistent all year. He has the talent any game to put up great numbers, but he doesn't seem to string them together. So I am kind of looking for him to continue that now. He had a good week last week. I don't think he's going to do it 2 weeks in a row. Um, my parlay is going to be Patriots money line, Blake Corum under 33 and a half rushing yards. I think that the Rams are going to be throwing it more. And when they do run, they're going to use their veteran. I don't think that Blake Corum's really going to be able to supplant Kyron Williams here. I think they're really going to ride Kyron Williams. That's why he got some time off during the year and during the beginning of these playoffs, and Blake Corum was getting in there. I think that he's rested up now. They're going to use him. I don't think that Blake Corum's going to get a lot of use here. And then along with that, I have Evan Ingram over 2.5 receptions. This one's pretty obvious. You've got a quarterback in there that really hasn't had a lot of reps. You're going to want to give him some kind of safety blanket, and that's typically a tight end. So Evan Ingram over 2.5 catches. I think it makes sense. The Patriots are not the best at covering tight ends. So it's kind of like stars aligning there. That parlay total is going to be plus 386. Once again, that's Patriots money line, Blake Corum under 33 and a half rushing yards, and Evan Ingram over 2.5 catches.
All right.
Thank you, JMO. David, care to show us your PPs?
No, this was insanely hard to find because obviously we have 2 games to choose from. So I did my best. I mostly stuck with the Patriots. So you'll hear them. So I got 1 unit, Ramondre 50 plus rushing, and that is at minus 105. I can't believe he's still this low. I think I've chose his rushing every time we've done this. 50 yards. They gave up over 150 last week. Obviously, James Cook is a little bit better. Line's a little bit better, but Ramondre's in a groove. When he hurt his eye last game, the offense stopped working. So he is a main part of what they're trying to do. My second bet is for a 1 unit. It is Kayshon Boutte plus 3 catches, and that is at minus 114. He is their big play possession receiver. Obviously, he had the play of the game last week with that insane one-handed catch in the snow.
So nice.
I was going to say,
Against
how didn't we
Stingley.
talk about that? That was
I know.
insane.
You know what's funny too? I heard it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
Real
you're
quick,
fine.
the Derek Stingley really hasn't given up anything to anybody all year long at all, except for Kayshon Boutte twice. It's amazing.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
said before the game, like a couple days before that, he likes his matchup against Stingley because he's a big physical receiver as well. And
Yep.
I like him plus 3 catches. I mean, that seems like a no-brainer. I have 1 unit for Seattle by covering the spread, which is minus 2.5. I think Seattle's going to win, and I think it's going to be obviously more than 2.5. So my
Yep.
parlay, I'm going to do 2 units. It's all strictly Patriots. It's Pat's money line. Strict Nay, anytime TD score. Yeah, he's not playing particularly well, but he is throwing the ball in the end zone, which gets you points. And then my big last piece of the parlay is Kyle Williams anytime TD score, and that is plus 4,700. I like Kyle Williams taking the top off this defense. If Brandon Cooks could do it, what is he, like 50? Kyle Williams is one of the fastest guys in the league. They're not going to be able to cover him deep. And even last week, they tried to do it a couple times against Lassiter. And another thing that bugged me last game was fourth quarter, they did that shot to Kyle Williams and it didn't hit. And Lassiter did the the buckle celebration. Like, you guys are losing in a playoff game and you're celebrating. Like, what is wrong with you? But anyways, that's my pick. And here you go, Bill.
Yeah, so before I go into my picks, I completely agree. I think players in the secondary should be kicked out of the league if you do that seatbelt celebration on a play where you were absolutely cooked and it was by no fault of your own that the pass was
100%.
incomplete.
Well, even Will Anderson, after a sack, like a strip sack, like he's on the sideline, like high five, like celebrating, and it's like, dude, you guys are like same thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
why don't you
that's a
help
little
like
different.
pump up CJ Stroud instead? You guys are just, I don't know. That team's
CJ
so
Stroud is
divided.
fine. He's getting like $80 million in his offshore account from Robert Kraft. But anyway, I will also announce to our listeners that just now I realized that David might not understand what anytime touchdown score means.
I wanted to bring it up. Why did you have to bring it up?
I totally
Oh,
don't.
it's fine. Okay, everybody,
So
we're
You
going
guys
to
are
roast
making me
David
do
real quick.
this.
Go ahead,
I
Bill.
said
Why
I
don't
don't
you
understand
go
betting.
after it?
So anytime touchdown, it's the same rule with like when you talk about most touchdowns in NFL history. They're not counting passing touchdowns, so it's a rushing or receiving touchdown. Is
All right.
is
Drake
what
Mason
And
that
he
run
ain't
one
getting
in.
a
specific
receiving
bet
one.
is.
But I'll
Here
tell you
you
what, if he goes up on the 1 yard line and sneaks it in, you are going to look like a genius.
And Kyle Williams catches another one, and you plus 4,700 on a 2-unit bet. Like there's no
No, it's
so
three.
upset.
It's three.
on that.
Kyle Williams itself
Oh
is
my
like
gosh.
plus 3,000 or something crazy because he
Yeah.
never gets the ball, but when he does, it's like
Right.
a touchdown. So
Okay.
I mean, I like it. All right, moving on. You got it.
Yeah, so onto my bets. I have the easiest bet to begin it off. I have Broncos money line. I can't believe it's a positive score.
you
So
just made
plus
fun of my
210.
bets.
You're lucky I don't have a boo on this thing.
We're gonna
I
have to
have
bring one in.
RJ Harvey, first Broncos touchdown score. That's 1 unit at plus 260. I have Rams Seahawks over 47.5 points at minus 105.
Nice.
I have JSN to be the first Seahawks touchdown scorer at plus 320. And then my parlay, I have Drake May over 0.5 interceptions. So at least one interception. I looked, there was not a place where I could go over 4.5 fumbles, or else I would have taken that. Broncos Patriots under 41.5. I don't like rooting for the under, but Drake Mays looked terrible. And then you have Jarrett Stidham on the other side. So I'll take the under 41.5 there. And then I have RJ Harvey over 59.5 rushing yards, and the odds on that are plus 625. And then I'll run through Brock's picks. So he has Jarrett Stidham under 188.5 passing yards. That's at minus 112. He has Ramondre anytime touchdown scorer at plus 115. Kenneth Walker over 87.5 rushing yards, minus 112. Stafford over 35.5 passing attempts at minus 106. And his parlay is Patriots money line, Rams plus 2.5, and under 47.5 for the Rams Seahawks at plus 571.
Interesting.
This next segment is just like the store in the mall that you hope your teenager doesn't want to go into. Hot Topics.
Spencer's.
Not sponsored.
Also not sponsored.
What do you guys got?
Yeah, you
Dave?
lead the way. Oh,
Oh, fine. I'll do it. So, hot topics. I mean, one of the big things we're going to talk about this week is the refs, right? I think we already kind of talked about it before and what happened. But moving forward, what do you guys like to see as far as the refs in the playoffs? Like, do you want them to just let them play ball and just be completely kind of hands off and let a lot of stuff go? Or I think most of us feel the same way. Like whatever you call in the beginning, call in the end, right? Just be consistent throughout the game is the big one. But I think the other thing is, I mean, when there's 2 minutes left in the game or we're getting close to overtime or you're in overtime, really try hard not to let your call affect the game. Be really sure about that. But what are your thoughts about what do you want to see out of the refs during the playoffs?
So the problem with the current construction of the referees and the playoffs is it's not the same crew as there is like it is in the regular season. They take like an all-star cast and put them into these crews because there's obviously minimal games. So that's a
Yeah.
lot of the problem is you are working with guys you don't work with. So it's like you don't know if he's going to call it, if you're, you know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
itself just leads for bad like reffing.
Yeah.
What do you think, Bill?
That's a good point.
Yeah, what I think is, and I feel like the big one that we always see really affect it, like that Brandon Cooks catch. Don't get me wrong,
You say catch? That's right.
I absolutely think it wasn't a catch. I think it was a clean pick. But like that one, they had to make a call either way, and half the fan
Yeah.
base is pissed off either way.
Also,
Well,
kind of crazy. They didn't actually like review it. Do you think they did that to like protect their own butt to be like, okay, like run along, kids, run along, quick, quick, quick? Or
I mean, that happens. I
I'm surprised they
guarantee
didn't
that
go to
does
like New
happen.
York and they actually take their time to like get a real response to it. The fact that they didn't
Yeah.
even look at it in overtime, that's absurd.
yeah, that's crazy. But what I was going to say before you cut me off was my issue with the reffing is
My issue with the
strictly
ref.
strictly on like OPI and DPI. I think so pass interference. I think what you really need to call at an NFL level is unfortunate because you can't cover it in the letter of the law, like in rule books. Is if it's
Yeah.
hand fighting and it's going both ways, don't throw a flag.
Right.
If it's if you're a receiver and you can be dedicated enough or whatever the right word is to not hand fight back, then you should get more calls. But if you're hand fighting back, you shouldn't get anything. Like that's the way I view it. If it's
Yeah.
going both ways, an equal amount both ways, then sorry, you don't get the call just because you're hand fighting. And that was that first play on Sutton
Right.
in the overtime. That's part of what that was they were both hand fighting. You should never call DPI on a hand
Yep.
fighting. The receiver's doing it just as much as the defender.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with that completely. And I think the other thing is like I wonder what's going on with the coaching with the the DBs that we've seen recently because we talk about it in our group chat all the time, but like whether or not it's possible as a defender to turn around and make a play on a ball, but a lot of the time these pass interference calls are happening because the defender is not playing the ball. They're not even
Yeah,
looking
they're
at the
just in
ball. They're
chase
just trying
mode.
to play the wide receiver, right? We've seen a lot of great DBs in our time in football. Like, you just see a slight movement of the wide receiver's hands or his eyes light up and they're turning around or doing something to make a play on the ball. And they train for that. They practice for that. Like that's why as a receiver, they tell you don't put your hands up until you absolutely have to because you don't want to give up your edge and tell the DB that the ball's coming. When's the last time we saw a DB really turn on a ball and make a play? Because I feel like it never happens anymore.
No,
That's why
perhaps
these
the
calls keep
Brandon Cooks
happening.
play.
True.
Yeah, but that was
That was great.
underthrown like crazy. I guess like
Also
to
true.
Joe's point, it's
No,
like
I know. I just want to throw that in there.
a ball that's thrown well or like a back shoulder, like one of those 15 yards or get to the sticks back shoulders. Like I feel like those could much more easily. I mean, I guess with those they're usually thrown on a rope into the outside, but I completely
Yeah.
agree with you. Like even if the hands aren't going up, we've all played football at some level. You see
Yeah.
it in your eyes when the receiver knows the ball's in the air. And
Oh, yeah.
obviously we've never gone against NFL receivers, but I
Sure.
can't imagine that's something you can hide when you're looking at a ball in the air and trying to track it. Like, sure, they
Yep.
might be better at like putting their head back down and running and knowing what spot they're going to, but
Right.
as a DB, you should absolutely know once you see it in the receiver's eyes, if you're playing that trail defense, that they saw the ball, and then you read their body language because you know they're going to whatever apex that leads to,
Right.
whatever rainbow route that leads to where that ball is eventually going to land. And if they're slowing down, turn the hell around because the ball's
Exactly.
probably
Instead,
at you.
yeah.
I
Instead,
think
we have
it's
these
so
defenders that are just
impossible.
pushing them.
Being a defensive back is the toughest position in football behind quarterback. Like,
No, that'd be tight end, but go on.
dude, you're just like chasing these guys
Facts.
around. There's a million different routes to cover.
Yeah, but tight ends have to catch and block.
And then that situation, like they're already in front of you, so you're just chasing, trying to catch up. You're doing everything you can to just.
I was going to say, don't let them behind you. Be better. All you have to do to be a defensive back is be athletic. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, but
You got-
sometimes
you
like
got-
chasing
you got
is a
5'8"
technique
dudes that are
of
D-backs.
coverage, like help over the top. It's kind
Yeah,
of
if
like an
you're
over
good
under
at it.
coverage, but
Nah. Overrated.
Okay, so I have to take a leak, so you guys can talk about the college the Natty because I don't know.
Ooh, let's
That's not
get
even. It's not even
into it.
real football when the half the people in the game are going to be selling insurance the next week.
You don't
Well,
even know who
that
any of them
brings up
are.
it's a good point. So,
Who?
yeah, David, let's talk about the Natty. I think it wasn't a bad game.
It was
I
better than I
thought
thought it was
that
going to be.
yeah, it was fun to watch. It's the stats afterwards don't really look like it doesn't really make sense for the game that I watched with my own two eyes, but um when you can take that out of it and just watch it as a fan of football, I thought it was pretty good. Um, it there's no doubt in my mind, like the Indiana being that team where it's like they're 4 or 5 years older than everybody they're playing against really is
I
funny.
know. It's
It's a
such a
good
shame.
strategy and it worked. Like that's the team they built for a reason and it worked. But man, is it funny? It literally looked like grown men out there throwing around little kids. It wasn't really fair.
Speaking of grown men, that
Mhm.
interview with Carson Beck before the game, when
Yes.
a reporter asked him, "How is it balancing classes and football?" And he was like, "Well, I actually graduated 2 years ago." Are you kidding me? I looked it up. He's
Insane.
23 years old. He's as old as Drake May.
Yes. He is he has you heard that right. He graduated college and is playing in college. That
That'd be
is
like
this
if somebody
He's
20
as
years
old as
old
Drake, but he's had a harder schedule this year.
shut
that'd
up.
be like a 20-year-old playing high school football and just, like, keep getting eligible and eligible and eligible. It's uh,
Right.
but, like, another side note I have is I don't know if you know who Dylan Raiola is, but this story is kinda hilarious.
Patty Mahomes Jr.
Yeah, so he transferred from Nebraska,
Yep.
and he's going to Oregon because
Right.
that quarterback was supposed to go in the draft.
Right.
Well, the way the draft's ending up is that quarterback was looking like he was going to go to the Jets, so he went back to
Went
school.
back.
So
Yes,
now it's like
exactly. Like the Jets aren't gonna be there next year anyway waiting for him, but fine.
I know, but it's just so funny. It's such a Jets
Yep.
thing.
But that's yeah, I mean, the transfer portal, right? That's where we're at in college football now. It's like everybody is all over the place. I mean, um, everybody that you look up, they played for a bunch of different teams. Like even Bo Nix, you're like, are we talking about? Oh, the guy from Auburn? No, the guy from Oregon. Oh, wait, right, it was the same one. Um, we do this over and over, and it's kind of hard to keep track now. And yeah, you get the Carson Beck, right? So Carson Beck is now at Miami, and even though he graduated from Georgia. Like, make that make sense. It's just the college world is definitely weird right now. And then on the other side, you've got Fernando Mendoza, who a lot of people are expecting to go number one overall, probably to the Raiders, which could be
Sounds
fun.
right.
And yeah, I think
Fit.
it could definitely be a good fit. Um, if I were the Raiders personally, I would take that pick and give it to somebody else and tool up for the rest of my team and get a haul for it, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, he only had 186 passing yards this game, but it felt like he did a lot. Obviously, he was able to make that one incredible play on his feet to get in the end zone. And like, I don't know, he's fun to watch. Um, Overall, he didn't have a very good game rushing, but remember, in college, when you take a sack, that counts as negative rushing yards for you. So that
Huh.
doesn't help on the
Didn't know that.
box score there. But yeah, it was. I don't know. It was a fun game to watch. It wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, whatever. But it was actually better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was definitely a good game. So my hot take, I guess I'll just give you guys some coaching updates. So we got John Harbaugh to the
Yep.
Giants. And
Correct.
part of his massive deal is that he is first in command. So he responds to the owner, and that is it. If he doesn't like
Hmm.
Joe Sheen, he can get him out of there, which is probably going to happen. So good for Harbaugh to get a good deal like that.
Yeah, I
Stefanski
love that.
went to the Falcons, which maybe
Mhm.
he chose that a little too quick.
Yep, because
Um,
I think that he could have been great on the Bills.
yeah, I'm going to touch on that in a couple seconds here. Salah to the Titans, which I don't like that at all, but hey,
All praise Salah.
Jeff Halfley to the Dolphins, which really reminds me of Joe Philbin to the Dolphins. So that's such
Right?
a Dolphins move. And then yeah, I'm going to lastly touch on the Bills. Like, obviously, they fired McDermott. How they didn't fire Brandon Bean as well is astonishing. He didn't put
Yep.
any weapons around Josh Allen. He's only drafted 2 Pro Bowlers since Josh Allen. It's like, it's incredible
Yeah.
the failure that he has. So he fired McDermott as a scapegoat. They're
Right.
saying they might hire Joe Brady as the head coach, which I don't like because Josh Allen clearly needs coaching and he ain't getting it from Joe Brady.
No.
He needs somebody that's going to like really hammer the law with him.
Yeah.
And I mean, a couple names that I like for the Bills. I mean, you guys don't like like it because it's already been previously mentioned. Mike McCarthy. I like Mike McCarthy.
Blech.
He brought a Super Bowl to Green Bay. He's a winning coach. I mean, look at the Cowboys since they fired him. They're a dumpster fire constantly. And then you got obviously Bill Belichick. I think he would be great with Josh Allen and the Bills. And then lastly, John Gruden. How doesn't Gruden have a job right now?
I love John Gruden for the person. Well, he doesn't have a job because of that whole email scandal. That's
Right.
part
That's
of
what
it.
I was gonna say. It's not.
Uh,
It's not anything to do with his coaching.
but at this point, yeah, it feels like statute of limitations in the NFL is like
So
4 or
what? A
5
player
days.
can
So
just
might as well. No, I know
beat
that's
people
exactly
up
what
and
I'm
do this and
saying.
that, but a guy just can't email a couple nudie
it
pics.
again.
Yeah. So, every episode we're gonna have to mention it, I guess. Yeah, no, I think John Gruden there would be a lot of fun. Yeah, I personally, as a Saints fan, I don't want to see Kevin Stefanski in my division because I do think he's a really good coach. I think Atlanta is still quite a few pieces away, but Stefanski is going to uh really
Bijan's going to be
make that
unreal.
team. Yeah, they're going to be very good, and I'm not looking forward to that. Um, I wish that we could have Todd Bowles in our division forever. I love him as a head coach. I think he's phenomenal on the Buccaneers because we get to play him twice a year. So if we could keep that, that'd be fantastic. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where some of these coaches land. And yeah, I mean, Mike McCarthy, I think as much as I don't really like him as a head coach, I think that he could be beneficial
I
to
think
that
he could coach
organization.
Josh
So
Allen and
I agree. So I could
actually
see
get
that
something out of him that he doesn't have yet.
Did
for
you guys
sure.
see that Mike McDaniels reneged on his Cleveland Browns interview?
I can't believe he had one to begin with, but good for him.
Yeah, I think but it's crazy to be turning down. Don't get me wrong, I think it's the right idea, but it's crazy to be turning down a head coaching interview at this point.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, so on to anything else. Shema, what do you have as your anything else?
well, let's see. Anything else? We covered my food poisoning over the weekend. That sucked. I don't know if I got that from some lunch that I had at work, which was sushi, which you would think, yeah, obviously you got it
Did the
from
company
sushi.
buy
But
it?
here's the thing. I had a very trusted friend at work um, buy lunch, and obviously that was a mistake. Um, the one who ordered the lunch didn't even eat the sushi. It was me and another friend. He did not get food poisoning. We were both fine. He was fine. I was not. So I don't know if it's necessarily the sushi, but um, if it was the sushi, I think it was a particular coworker trying to sabotage me, which is really unfortunate. Um,
Absolutely. Smells
Dude,
fishy.
eating
it
sushi
smells
at work is
fishy.
a bold move.
Look, man, I will eat sushi anywhere, anytime. I don't care.
I
I
had
love
sushi
it.
from Market Basket tonight, so
I would have
right
sushi
there
from a
with
gas
you.
station right now after having food poisoning. I don't care.
I don't like
That's how
sushi at
deep it
all.
goes for me.
Yeah.
Well, when you get a little bit older and your taste buds develop, you'll start to like better things other
Dude, you
than
know, I had
giant
sushi one
chicken
time
nuggies.
and somebody told me the secret to eating sushi is don't taste it, just swallow it.
That's oysters. That's not sushi.
No, well, I was eating sushi and that's what he said. I'm like,
Well,
this
he's
tastes
an idiot.
bad. He was like, yeah, just put it down the hatch.
No, that's wrong.
Horrible advice.
Yeah, what are you talking about? That's terrible. Ugh. I guess that's really my anything else. Don't get food poisoning. That was terrible. Although on the plus side, if you are looking to lose a little weight, within a 20-hour period, I was able to drop almost 14 pounds. So there's that. There's always a silver lining.
From the upstairs or the basement?
That was all upstairs. I had no basement dwellers, believe it or not, which was,
That's
I'll take
crazy.
that. But yeah, it kind of got to a point where I was just getting used to it. At first, I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. And then by like, the 17th time, I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll do that. And then I'll go back to watching sports. Whatever.
Proud of you.
Thanks.
Okay, so my
Working like
anything
Drake May
else.
there.
Wow. I had a chimney fire the other day, so that was a pretty crazy experience. So
That is anything else.
woke up at 4 in the morning to my neighbor banging on my door saying fire, fire, fire. I'm just like half sleeping, half awake, just stumbling through the house, and yeah, just grabbed the baby, grabbed the dog. Cats can suffer. But yeah, they call the fire department.
That's the spirit. That's the
Listen,
spirit.
they got 9 lives. They can risk
Screw
it.
them cats.
How are you supposed to catch a cat in a fire? It's like,
Nah, you're not.
dude, they're so hard to catch in like perfect conditions.
This was our fifth
true.
take, and somehow 3 of them involved your cats dying.
That's a
Yeah.
good point.
So if anybody
If you
wants
know,
a
you
cat,
know.
yeah. So shout out to New Ipswich Fire. They came in the snow on my terrible driveway, ladders on my roof. It probably wasn't the worst chimney fire in the world, but there were definitely some flames shooting out. And yeah, I have a pellet stove. When I first moved in, we had a wood stove. It just got too much, too messy. I hate dealing with wood. You always have wood. I put in my basement. I'd rather go get pellets. So I put in a pellet stove, and I would never think in a million years that like a pellet stove would collect enough debris and ash to
Yep.
burn inside of a chimney. But I
Well,
guess the way my chimney is it has like a little fucking whoops in it, like a little bow. So that's
Yep.
where everything collects, and that's what was
Well,
on fire.
oopsie daisy.
Yeah,
Yikes.
so I ended up, sweeping it out afterwards, and so, yeah, if you need
Alright,
a
well,
chimney sweeping, like, you should definitely do that and take care of that thing.
that is some good advice for the listeners. And
Yeah.
speaking of other people that like to put wood in their basement, Bill, what do you got for us?
So my anything else, it's just a shout out to Nintendo and the Pokemon franchise. So I grew up watching it, and now I am getting to introduce it to my 3-year-old son, or soon to be 3-year-old son, and watch it through his eyes again. So it's crazy how big Pokemon has been for so long. Being able to kind of watch it with him again, like it's been a really fun week diving into that. So that was just kind of my anything else, and I actually had another thing teed up for anything else, and then both you guys mentioned food poisoning and chimney fires, so I wanted to maybe lighten the mood a little bit before we
No,
close
go
the
to your other
show.
thing. Don't be
I
shy.
Yeah, we don't want to hear about your kid, or
Frickin'
we don't want to convince
Pokemon.
people that you have a soul. That's dumb. Move on.
Nope, that's my anything else. My other one
Oh
can wait
my
till next week.
goodness. All right. Well,
So
I'm happy to hear that. That makes me happy.
Yeah,
thank you.
it's a
Thank you.
beautiful
It's
story.
been fun.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
My cats made it, so that's also great.
Oh, good job.
Is
I'm-
it? Because
what?
this
That's
is
great.
the third take you've mentioned. Hopefully they didn't.
Yay!
Yay for David's cats. Okay, so that's it for us here on Context Matters. Thank you again to Hyatt Trucks. Check us out on YouTube at Context Does Matter, and Spotify and wherever else you can get your podcasts at the Context Matters Podcast. Also follow along with us on Twitter. Facebook at the Context Matters Podcast, as we will be keeping the reactions and discussion going during this week's slate of games and all year long. I'm Bill, along with David and JMO. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week.
See you later, kids.
Goodbye.